Watching competitive Smash Bros. Now is like starting an anime that's in season 5. Most of the main characters have left the show entirely. Some of the characters that you thought were Goku turned out to be Master Roshi. The Vegeta of the series is still going through their character arc, and the previous villain is now the new protagonist. Howdy friendos, my name is Stuart and welcome to this year's April Fool's video. Most people were probably expecting another bait and switch video, and originally that was the plan. But instead of being boring and repetitive, we're gonna make some actual content and turn the world's greatest melee player into a Tarrasque level threat for D&D. To those that don't know, hungrybox I'm too white for this name. Hungrybox is considered to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest Smash Melee player currently active today. Born June 21st, 1993, Hungrybox started competing in Super Smash Bros. Melee tournaments since 2007. Throughout his long career, Hungrybox has been extremely successful, becoming Apex Champion in 2010, 6-time CEO Champion, 2-time Big House Champion, but Hungrybox is most famous for his legendary comeback at EVO 2016. Hungrybox has actually won or topped dozens, if not hundreds of tournaments throughout his life, earning him the title of one of Smash Bros. Melee's 5 gods. However, it's not necessarily his skill that made Hungrybox famous throughout the years, but his personality, temperament, and showmanship. In the early years, Hungrybox was a bit of a drama llama and had a penchant for presenting himself as the villain of the Smash Bros. Community. And while some of this was earned due to his personality, much of it was shaped by the community's reception of his main character. In the Melee community, Jigglypuff is seen as one of the most powerful characters in the game. With her multiple jumps, powerful aerial game, and devastating specials, Jigglypuff is considered to have a good matchup against pretty much any character. However, according to most Smash fans, she is slow and boring to watch, and many are claiming that she ruins the competitive scene because she isn't as fun or flashy as the other top-tier characters like Fox or Falco or even Marth. That being said, Hungrybox is very devoted to the character to the point where he mained her in nearly every iteration of the game. And despite what people say about how easy she is to main, Hungrybox is still the only Puff main in the top 10. Hell, you have to go down to the number 35th position before you find another Puff main. Either way, at this point, Hungrybox is a celebrity within the community, and in my opinion, he is the most fun to watch, and this video is something of a tribute to his career. I've been trying to get into competitive Smash Ultimate lately with, mixed results.
This is my table! No! No!
Fool, he can have multiple tables!
I didn't know he could make more tables! If it isn't clear, I'm not very good. But what I am good at is D&D. Specifically, my game is Pathfinder, but I've gone ahead and created an enemy for you all to fight in your next D&D game. The link is down below in the description to the PDF on my DMs Guild, and it's set at pay what you want. This is an April Fool's video, and it's not meant to be taken seriously, but, you know, I got bills to pay, so if you want to tip something, feel free. And with all that out of the way, let's introduce Puffbox, a copyright-safe parody that is a combination of the world's greatest Melee player and a mythical creature from a game that's made more money than Star Wars. However, before we get into the character's stats, let's go over some lore. Because if you're like me and you want to incorporate lore into your D&D monsters, it's actually not as hard as you think. Super Smash Bros., unlike traditional fighters, is a game where instead of beating your opponents until their hit bar is put to 0, you instead seek to knock them off the stage into the blast zone. While it's beneficial to damage your opponents as much as possible, it really isn't a requirement. In that regard, Smash Bros. Battles are closer to a sumo match rather than a traditional fighting bout like Mortal Kombat or Tekken. Smash Bros. Is a game that's more about position, movement, and platforming, and the map will completely change the strategy of a game going into it. If traditional fighters are like chess, then Smash Bros. Is an elaborate game of Risk. I recommend that you treat the Puffbox character as a competitor in a sumo wrestling style arena, or at least she's hanging out nearby. The sport of sumo, however, was originally created as an act of entertainment for the Shinto gods of Japan, and we will reflect that in this monster's creation. Puffbox in this D&D lore will be a worshipper of a very specific pantheon of gods, and whenever she steps into the ring as a Rikishi, she seeks to honor her patron god. This god will descend from the heavens to possess Puffbox and choose her as their champion. For all intents and purposes, Puffbox is the Chosen One. Boo! While in normal wrestler mode, Puffbox is actually fairly strong, about a CR 10. She is considered a small fey creature who is chaotic good. She has quite a large hit point pool and high dexterity to reflect that her chosen sport is all about movement. She can only walk 20 feet, but she can fly and hover 50 feet around. As her basic loadout, Puffbox gains a +3 proficiency bonus to performance, and she has a passive perception of 11 and resists bludgeoning and slashing damage, and she also gains necrotic resistance because she's a fairy and normal type Pokemon. For her defensive options, Puffbox has Sing, her signature move from the show that puts creatures to sleep if they fail a constitution save. And since Hungrybox is the best Smash player in the world, he's got tons of experience and he can read almost every fighter, gaining the hard read ability, giving her advantage on all dexterity saving throws. And since Hungrybox is known as Clutchbox sometimes, he gains +1 to all of his saving throws for every 30 damage he's taken over the fight. For her defensive options, Puffbox has a ton of available options. Her multi-attack allows her to make 2 attacks that aren't rollout, and that's because rollout is one of her strongest abilities, allowing her to rocket herself forward 60 foot in a line, striking everyone in the area for 66 bludgeoning damage, and as a bonus action, she can head right back to where she started. Combo and Smash Attack are 2 melee abilities that vary in power. Combo is the weakest ability, but easiest to hit with, while Smash Attack launches the target in any direction of her choosing. Pound is a move to break out when you want your fighters to rage because the target needs to make a Constitution saving throw, or it will instantly shatter their shield. And finally, Back Air is the move you use when you want everyone to rage because it offers Puff the most utility. Thanks to its disjointed hitbox, this melee move actually has a 10-foot reach, and it allows Puffbox to move 10 feet before or after the attack. But this isn't a very strong D&D monster unless it has legendary actions. Legendary actions are moves that allow a monster to act outside of their turn up to 3 times per turn. For one of these actions, Puffbox has a 1-frame shield move. For another legendary action, Puffbox can make a Smash Attack or a Back Air. Told you that move was going to be annoying. And for her final legendary action, we're going to give her her deadliest ability.
Rest! Rest! It's over!
Rest is Puffbox's most devastating ability, and its most costly. For the cost of all 3 of her legendary actions, Puffbox immediately falls asleep and is stunned until the start of its next turn. Any target within 5 feet of Puff must immediately make a dexterity saving throw or take 10d6 fire damage. However, if the target is below 50% of their hit points when getting hit with Rest, they are immediately slain. Why 50%, you may ask? That's kill percent, baby. But we're also not done either. I promised you guys a Tarrasque level threat. To those Smash players who stumbled onto this and don't know what the Tarrasque is, it's basically a Godzilla monster that many consider to be the final boss of D&D. This Puffbox is tough, but she won't wipe out entire towns or destroy whole countries. You'd have to be a god. But the question remains, what act will cause a god to descend on high and attack a whole adventuring party and everything around her? Well, if you know anything about Hungrybox, there's one thing that makes him angrier than anything else.
Oh man,
you don't taunt Hungrybox. Taunting Puffbox causes her to be possessed by her patron deity, and then she transforms into Angrybox. Angrybox's stats jump from tough to impossible as her defense jumps through the roof and gains immunity to poison, necrotic, and psychic damage, and since she can no longer be reasoned with, she is also immune to being charmed, frightened, or poisoned. Her defensive abilities gain a solid buff as she gains legendary resistance 3 times a day, and her Sing just gets better. Puffbox, despite being immune to poison, is stricken with a poison-like condition that takes away from her vision. She becomes so blinded with rage that she becomes infected with a toxic condition that competitors called being tilted. Because of this, Angrybox is considered to be blind. Which is why I gave her blind sight within 120 feet and a higher passive perception. All her attack options get deadlier, and her multi-attack allows her to make 5 melee attacks of her choice. I've been bouncing back and forth between 5 and 7. You can decide which one you want because, you know, fuck 'em. Her most devastating boost, however, comes to her Back Air. If Angrybox uses Back Air 3 times in a row, then the target must make a Constitution saving throw. If they fail it, they also become poisoned with the tilted condition. And that's because everyone knows that if you Back Air 3 times in a row, you're f***ing toxic.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah! Oh my god! What?
But you might be thinking, Stuart, you've made her too strong. Nothing in the land, sky, or sea can defeat Hungrybox. How can she be beaten? Well, Hungrybox does have one weakness. However, you are not allowed to exploit this weakness for free. This weakness is a roll of the dice, a gamble. You must sacrifice someone in order to attempt even a chance at exploiting this weakness. If Hungrybox slays a target, she must use Pop-Off as an immediate action. She has no choice. Hungrybox just can't help herself. They must pop off. But if no enemies fall victim to Hungrybox's fear move, they will keep popping off until...
Yes! Yeah! Yeah, mother...
And that's my tribute to Hungrybox and their Jigglypuff. Again, this is an April Fool's video, and I mostly made this for fun. I'm not a big Smash Bros. YouTuber, I'm just a passionate amateur who makes D&D content. I focus on the anime side of things with my Pokemon D&D campaign, my alignment videos, and recently I started doing guides on how to write campaigns for certain settings. If you like this monster, go ahead and download it from my DM's Guild page using the description below. It's pay what you want, so you don't actually have to give me anything for it, but if you're interested, I also have a Dragon Ball Races and Class PDF on my website, and another website that I did a collaboration with. And if you like this style of video, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.